Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to learn about technology from history. What is history? History is the study of past events, particularly about humans. The humans who were there before us, maybe 100 years ago, or 400 years ago, or maybe thousands of years ago. So the events that are past already, they become history. Who is historian? History is also a subject like other subjects, and a historian is a person who studies the past. Those people who likes to study by discovering and examining the documents which were written or saved in the past. So these people, they become historian, and they find out their languages. They decipher their languages. They learn about their customs and laws and the events that were important to the society. Who is an archaeologist? Archaeologist is a historian who studies early human history. This is also the form of a historian, but they are studying history by discovering the hidden places or discovering the places which are not known to anyone. They excavate the area, they discover the area by digging it, and then carefully uncover the artifacts and the building structures and other evidences left by the ancient humans. And they study through the artifacts. And what are artifacts? Artifact is a type of object that was used by humans and often made by humans, through which they learn that what was the language, what was the mean of communication, what were their houses, what were the potteries, and their jewelries look like. The tools used by archaeologists: the screen, compass, camera, shovel, water, brush and dustpan, shade, mattock, trowel, tape measure. I hope having a look at these tools, you have got some idea that what kind of activity this is that they need to do. This is kind of a very hard field, but those people who really have interest, they can do it, and they have done it in the past and in the present also. This is how we know about the past people, because of the great effort of the people who are archaeologists. What type of artifacts that can be discovered? They can discover pottery, they can discover tools, animals, uh, plant remains, animal remains, the currency which was used by the ancient people, the textiles which were used by the ancient people. And how we know that what items are discovered? Because whatever they discover, they preserve it and display it in the museums. So this is how we know that what artifacts are found. And through the hard work of archaeologists, we come to know that from which era and from which time period this art item has been discovered, and it was in the use of which people. Um, as we are talking about archaeologists and historians, so there is a very famous archaeologist, Howard Carter. He became famous after he discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun was a king of Egypt and buried thousands of years ago. Howard Carter found the tomb of Tutankhamun. This is how we know that in ancient Egypt, people used to bury their kings with all their belongings. Even they used to prepare their shroud of they used to prepare the shroud made of gold, and they used to cover their kings with the golden shroud made of gold. And they not used to make the small grave, they used to make a big tomb and uh, put the box of funeral for the dead body inside the tomb by keeping all the jewelry and the gold and the precious things which were in use of the king, and the food items, and all the belongings of the king. They used to bury it with the king, and it was their belief that whenever the king will be needing it in the hereafter, so he can use all those things when he will come back to life again. But this was their belief, and they used to decorate their tomb very beautifully as it was the king's tomb. So, this is what we discovered from the discovery of Howard Carter, that how the Tutankhamun was buried, and later on this helped to find out more Egyptian kings, the kings of Egypt, and this is how we know about the culture and civilization of the ancient Egypt. So when Carter found the tomb, it was full of gold. As I told you, they used to bury their kings with their golds and belongings and jewelries and accessories. So other objects were also found, which were buried with the king Tutankhamun. Carter worked for a long time on digging up the tomb. He wrote books following his return from Egypt. So with this great discovery, we came to know about the life in ancient Egypt. In the end, I will ask you that what question would you ask a historian or an archaeologist if they come to visit your school? Maybe you will ask them that what make them to take interest in this subject, what we can learn from their jewelry, what can they have they discovered more about ancient Egypt, what how do we know that what artifact was used for what purpose, and there are many other questions that might pop up in your mind. I hope you have liked this information and found it very informative and useful. And if you have liked it, you can share it with your friends. Thank you very much. Take care.